Before starting the story, write in the comment section which country you belong to. In the tranquil city of Ayodhya, where golden sunlight bathed the palace walls and the gardens bloomed with the scent of jasmine, Prince Rama walked through the corridors with a heart full of dreams. From a young age, he had been taught the values of honor, bravery, and loyalty. Yet, even with all the lessons in Dharma, nothing had prepared him for the gentle warmth he felt when he first laid eyes on Sita, the princess of Mithila. Sita, with her soft smile and eyes that sparkled like stars reflected on calm waters, moved with a grace that made the air itself feel lighter. She was not only beautiful, but her mind was keen, her heart full of kindness. From the first meeting at the ceremonial gathering of the two kingdoms, Rama felt a pull he could not explain, a quiet certainty that somehow Sita was meant to share his life. The two spent days together in the palace gardens, walking along the stone paths lined with mango trees, speaking of dreams and hopes. Sita loved stories of valor and devotion, and Rama loved the way her laughter could make even the heaviest day feel lighter. Their conversations were gentle and deliberate, weaving a tapestry of understanding and quiet affection. Yet, even in the midst of budding love, shadows lingered. Rama was the heir to the throne of Ayodhya, and Sita's hand in marriage was bound by politics and duty. Still, both were young, and their hearts did not notice the weight of kingdoms. They only saw each other, and in those moments, the world beyond the palace walls seemed to vanish. The moment that sealed their bond, though, came unexpectedly. A contest of strength and skill had been announced in Mithila to find a worthy husband for Sita. Princes from distant lands attempted to lift a massive bow, yet none could even bend it. When Rama approached, there was no arrogance, only a quiet confidence and respect for the tradition. With a gentle grasp, he lifted the bow, straining with effort but not faltering. In a single motion, he strung it and flexed it with a precision that left the court silent. Sita's heart leapt. In that instant, it was not just his strength she admired, but his poise, his integrity, the gentleness behind his power. She knew, without hesitation, that Rama was her equal in every way that mattered, and when he turned to her with a soft, respectful bow, their eyes met, and unspoken words passed between them. We are bound together, not by duty or expectation, but something deeper. The wedding was celebrated with grandeur and joy. Flowers fell like gentle rain over the palace courtyards, and the music of veenas and flutes accompanied the laughter of family and friends. Rama and Sita walked together, hands brushing, hearts quietly entwining. In private moments, away from the eyes of the world, they spoke of love, of future gardens they would tend together, of laughter echoing through golden halls. Yet, as the festivities waned and the couple settled into married life, the whisper of duty began to stir. Rama, ever obedient to his father's commands and the expectations of the kingdom, felt a weight on his shoulders. Sita, sensing the subtle tension, tried to remain a source of comfort. She knew that Rama's heart was noble, that every action stemmed from a sense of responsibility larger than themselves. They shared quiet evenings in the palace gardens, sitting beneath the blooming lotuses and talking of what life could be. "I wish," Sita said one evening, "that our hearts alone could decide our fate. Then there would be no sorrow, only days like this. Rama took her hand, holding it tenderly. My heart belongs to you, Sita, yet my duty, it calls me beyond our gardens. It asks me to serve, to follow the path of honor, even if it leads me away from you. The words hung in the air like a fragile thread, delicate, yet unbreakable. Sita's eyes shimmered with unshed tears, but she nodded. She understood. In Rama, she saw a man who would never bend for comfort if the world demanded courage. And in her, he found a love so profound that even duty could not erase its memory. That night, as the palace settled into quiet, Rama and Sita sat together, their hands intertwined. They spoke of dreams and fears, of hopes for a future that seemed uncertain. And though the first hint of heartbreak loomed, there was also a promise that whatever trials lay ahead, the love they had found in each other would endure, even in silence, even in absence. And so, under the star-lit sky of Ayodhya, Rama and Sita clung to the simple truth of their hearts, that love, gentle and strong, was theirs, even as the shadows of duty began to stir on the horizon. The months after their wedding were filled with quiet happiness, yet an undercurrent of unease began to ripple through the palace. Rama and Sita cherished their days together, but both could sense the invisible chains of expectation tightening. The kingdom of Ayodhya had high hopes for its crown prince, and every citizen, advisor, and even distant kingdoms watched closely, waiting for signs of his leadership. Rama, steadfast and obedient, carried the weight of the throne as naturally as he breathed. He trained with soldiers, studied the laws of the kingdom, and met with sages who guided him in the ways of Dharma. He did these things not out of pride, but out of a sense of duty that was inseparable from his identity. Every decision he made was measured against honor, justice, and the responsibility he owed to his people. Sita, ever wise and gentle, admired Rama's dedication, but her heart sometimes ached. She longed for the quiet intimacy they once shared, the laughter echoing through gardens, the stolen moments beneath blooming trees. She noticed how Rama's eyes, so bright with love and private, would darken with contemplation when thoughts of duty came. One evening, as the sun dipped low, casting golden light across the palace, Sita approached Rama in the inner courtyard. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine, and a soft breeze stirred her hair. She touched his arm lightly, trying to bridge the distance she felt growing between them. "Rama," she said softly, "I feel the kingdom calling you even in our private moments. Is there no time left for us?" Rama turned to her, his expression tender, yet troubled. "Sita, my heart belongs to you always, but my path, it is not mine alone to choose. Father's words, the counsel of elders, the needs of Ayodhya, they all guide me. I cannot ignore them, even for love." Sita bowed her head, a silent acknowledgement of the truth in his words. She understood duty, more than anyone. She had been raised to respect tradition, honor, and the greater good. Yet knowing this did not soften the ache in her heart. Days turned into weeks, and whispers of change began to drift through the palace halls. A decision was coming, one that would test the strength of their love in ways neither could have foreseen. King Dasharatha, Rama's father, called upon him to take a significant step, an exile, a period away from the palace to honor a vow made long ago. The words, spoken with gentle firmness by the king, fell on Rama like a silent storm. "Rama," the king said, his voice heavy with sorrow,
I have given my word to fulfill a promise. You must leave the palace and spend 14 years in the forest. It is my duty, and by Dharma, yours also to obey." Rama's heart clenched, but he bowed deeply. "Father, if Dharma demands it, I will follow. But Sita—" His voice faltered, the weight of separation pressing down. Sita, standing silently beside him, felt her breath catch. Though she had anticipated the possibility of trials, nothing could prepare her for the moment they would be apart. "Rama," she whispered, "then I must come with you, for if your heart is mine, I cannot live where you cannot be." Rama turned to her, awe and sorrow mingling in his gaze. "Sita, the forest is harsh, dangers await, and our lives will be uncertain, yet my heart cannot bear your absence. If you wish to join me, I will accept it, though I fear the path may test us beyond imagining." And so a decision was made, one rooted in love, but shadowed by the inevitability of duty. Preparations began quietly, as if the palace itself feared the coming sorrow. Sita packed her belongings with care, each item a symbol of home she feared she might never return to. Rama, strong yet fragile in the quiet moments, wrestled with the knowledge that the world outside the palace walls would demand more from them than they had ever known. On the eve of their departure, the palace seemed to hold its breath. Courtiers whispered prayers, and the city of Ayodhya, oblivious to the private turmoil of its prince and princess, continued its rhythmic life of work and celebration. Yet in one secluded courtyard, Rama and Sita stood together, hands clasped, foreheads touching, as if to anchor each other against the coming storm. "Rama," he said softly, his voice barely above a whisper, "whatever trials await, remember that my heart is always with you. Even in shadows, even in pain, my love will remain." Sita nodded, tears glistening in her eyes. "And mine, Rama, always. No forest, no exile, no distance can change it. Duty may test us, but our hearts will endure." The next morning, they departed Ayodhya, leaving behind the golden palaces and familiar gardens. The city, bathed in the soft light of dawn, seemed unaware of the heartbreak it had witnessed in silence. As the forest drew near, Rama and Sita walked side by side, hands intertwined, their faces etched with quiet determination. But beneath the surface, a fragile ache had taken root. A first taste of the pain that duty could impose on even the strongest love. In the shadows of the trees, as birds called to each other and the wind whispered through the leaves, Rama and Sita began their life of exile. Each step was heavy with longing for the life they had left behind, yet each moment was also illuminated by the bond that had brought them together. Even as the world pressed in with its challenges, the seeds of love planted in Ayodhya continued to grow, fragile but enduring, ready to face the trials that lay ahead.
The forest stretched endlessly before Rama and Sita, a world both beautiful and unforgiving. Towering trees formed canopies that filtered sunlight into golden green streams, and the air was filled with bird song and the rustle of unseen creatures. Yet beneath the natural beauty lay uncertainty and danger. Wild animals roamed, storms could rise without warning, and the simplicity of palace life was replaced by a harsh rhythm of survival. Rama moved with calm determination, gathering wood, tending to fires, and hunting when necessary. Every task reminded him of the discipline his father had instilled in him. But every night, as the firelight flickered on his face, his thoughts returned to the life he had left behind. He missed the laughter of Ayodhya, the gentle presence of Sita in familiar halls, and the quiet certainty of a throne awaiting him. Sita, by his side, tried to ease the difficulties of exile. She collected fruits, tended their modest shelter, and kept their spirits lifted with gentle words and stories. Yet even in her resilience, there was an ache she could not fully disguise. Life in the forest was simpler in form, but heavier in heart. The constant vigilance, the isolation, and the awareness of the unknown pressed upon her like a shadow. Despite the hardships, Rama and Sita shared moments of quiet intimacy that reminded them why they had chosen to remain together. In the evening, they would sit by the fire, hands entwined, speaking softly of home, of dreams deferred, and of hopes for the future. Sita would smile, trying to hold back tears, while Rama would gently brush a strand of hair from her face, the warmth of his hand a reassurance against the chill of uncertainty. But the forest held more than just natural trials. Word reached them that Ravana, the demon king of Lanka, had learned of Sita's beauty and virtue. Though distant, his shadow loomed like a storm cloud, a reminder that danger was never far from those who stood out for their goodness and strength. Rama, aware of the threat, remained vigilant, but could not shake the sense of unease that settled over Sita like a heavy cloak. One afternoon, as Sita wandered near a clearing to gather herbs, a sudden rustle in the bushes startled her. Before she could react, a strange figure appeared, a golden chariot drawn by unseen forces gliding toward her. From it stepped Ravana, his presence commanding and terrifying, yet strangely magnetic. His eyes fixed on Sita, admiration and ambition mingled in their intensity. Sita, despite her fear, stood firm. She had learned from Rama that courage was not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. I am Sita, wife of Rama, and I am not yours to take. Leave, or face the consequences of your deeds. Ravana's lips curved into a sinister smile. Brave, beautiful, and resolute. Few possess such strength of heart. I will not take your life, but I desire what I cannot command by force alone. The forest seemed to hold its breath. Sita's heart pounded, torn between fear and the steadfast love she felt for Rama. She knew that yielding to him in any way would betray everything they had built together. Drawing on her inner strength, she refused to bend, and as she did, the earth seemed to echo her resolute. When Rama learned of Ravana's approach, he rushed to Sita's side. With the agility of a prince trained in warfare, he intercepted the demon, bow in hand. A battle ensued, not just of strength, but of wills. Ravana's power was formidable, but Rama's focus, tempered by love and righteousness, was unwavering. He defended Sita not only with his skill, but with the fierce certainty that love demanded protection. After hours of struggle, Ravana retreated, his pride wounded but his intentions unresolved. Rama and Sita embraced, hearts pounding, relief and fear mingling in a fragile tapestry of emotion. That night, by their modest fire, they held each other tightly, words unnecessary as tears flowed freely. Sita, Rama whispered, I will never let anyone harm you. You are my heart, my life. Even demons cannot break what we share. Sita rested her head on his shoulder, her own tears soft but abundant. Yet, Rama, I fear for the days to come. The forest is wide, and the world does not always follow the path of Dharma. Our love, it must endure trials we cannot foresee. Indeed, the exile tested more than their physical endurance. Loneliness sometimes seeped into quiet moments, doubts whispered in the night, and the pull of duty, Rama's unwavering commitment to righteousness, demanded choices that occasionally left Sita feeling isolated despite their closeness. Yet in those moments, their love, though bruised, never broke. They learned together that love was not only joy and laughter, It was patience in hardship, courage in the face of fear, and unwavering faith in each other. Every sunrise brought a mixture of hope and uncertainty. Every storm tested the bonds they had woven. Yet each night, as they sat by the fire, hands clasped, hearts beating in quiet rhythm, they found solace in the truth that even in the harshest trials, their love endured. The forest, with all its beauty and menace, became a crucible shaping their hearts with equal parts sorrow and devotion. And as shadows lengthened and the distant cries of wild creatures echoed, Rama and Sita knew that the greatest tests were yet to come, and that the strength of their love would be measured not only in moments of happiness, but in endurance against despair.
Years in the forest had passed, each day bringing new challenges and trials. Rama and Sita had faced hunger, storms, wild beasts, and the ever-looming threat of Ravana. Through it all, their love remained the constant, though the weight of exile pressed heavily upon their hearts. Every morning they rose with hope, and every night they clung to each other for comfort, knowing that the world outside had not forgotten them. Yet even in the deepest bond of love, life has ways of testing resolve. One day, while Rama was away hunting, Ravana returned. This time he acted with cunning rather than brute force. Sita, alone and vulnerable, was taken to Lanta, separated from Rama by miles of forests, rivers, and treacherous mountains. The pain of the separation struck deeper than any battle. The agony of helplessness settled in her chest. Rama returned to find the forest eerily quiet, Sita nowhere to be seen. His heart sank, a storm of dread and determination raging within him. "Sita," he called, voice echoing through the trees, every cry carrying his fear, love, and anger. He ran, searching, following traces left behind, until he realized the truth. She had been taken by Ravana. Sita, meanwhile, remained steadfast. Though isolated in the golden halls of Lanka, she refused to succumb to despair. She reminded herself daily of Rama's love, of the strength they had nurtured together, and of the belief that duty and honor could not overshadow true devotion. Her courage became a silent rebellion, a shield against the darkness surrounding her. Rama, guided by determination and unwavering love, rallied allies and prepared to rescue her. Every step of his journey was fueled by longing and heartbreak. The knowledge that separation, even for the noblest of reasons, could wound hearts more deeply than any weapon. The battles that followed were fierce, forces clashed, strategies unfolded, and in every confrontation Rama's focus was singular, to reunite with Sita. At last, after days of struggle and sacrifice, Rama faced Ravana. With a final decisive confrontation, he defeated the Demon King. The golden halls of Lanka, once oppressive and menacing, now became the setting for a reunion born of endurance, loyalty, and love tested to its limits. When Rama finally embraced Sita, the world seemed to pause. Tears fell freely, laughter mingled with sobs, and the weight of years apart dissolved in a moment of relief. "Rama," Sita whispered, her voice trembling yet strong, "our hearts endured what the world could not break. Even demons and distance could not sever the bond we share." Rama held her close, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Sita, love like ours is not measured in comfort or ease. It is measured in trials, in resilience, in the unwavering belief that even in the darkest times, we are never truly apart. They returned to Ayodhya together, the forest behind them a place of memories, growth, and enduring love. The city welcomed them with celebration, but Rama and Sita's hearts carried a deeper understanding of sacrifice. They had learned that love is never simple. It demands courage, patience, and the willingness to endure hardships without letting the heart break under pressure. In the quiet moments, long after the celebrations ended, Rama and Sita would walk in the palace gardens, hands intertwined, smiles soft and understanding. They spoke less of sorrow and more of gratitude for each other, for the trials that strengthened them, and for the knowledge that even duty, which had forced them apart, had also deepened their devotion. Though the world outside moved with its endless rhythm, Rama and Sita carried a private truth: that love, once tested by shadows and demons, emerges not only unbroken, but luminous. And in that light, they found a peace that no hardship could ever take away. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share for more real-life love and emotional stories. Your support helps us bring more meaningful stories to life.